Okay, so I watched the episode 4 of the Acolyte, and honestly, man, this was a painfully frustrating episode. There were scenes that could have been cut, like Jackie and Osha at the temple, the bug scene, and even Jackie and Osha on Kofar. It seems clear that the writers want Jackie and Osha to have a connection, but there's no sense of natural occurrence. The scene with Jackie and Osha on Kofar especially could have occurred after the conflict with the Master and confrontation with May. I think this would allow for a much more meaningful conversation. Some of the scenes are simply poorly acted with awkward and unnatural dialogue. Again, Osha and Jackie at the temple, and when Osha and the Jedi are on the ship. Ki-Adi-Mundi is a non-issue right now. There is no acknowledgement of Sith. They called it a splinter order. So far, this doesn't make Ki-Adi guilty of anything. Kymir's facial expressions to what May says kind of give him away. I think it's obvious he's May's master. I don't believe that he is the true master like Vernestra states. I think there's something much larger at play. Soul tells Osha she is going to face her past. I think this is going to be about her mother. In fact, I think Anastasia will show up on Kofar in episode 5. May's 180 as a character gave me a flashback to Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones. Rushed, out of left field, changing character, just out of nowhere. There was no gradual change. There wasn't really anything that led up to it. That was just weird. I don't like that. Something that I seriously hope is explained well later in the season is that change, but I don't see this show delivering on it. All in all, episode 4 was poorly paced, poorly written, an episode that tries to have character development that falls flat and feels awkward in its delivery. The sets look very much like sets, and this episode feels padded out, leaving us with a very frustrating cliffhanger. I think the Master cutting down Jedi left and right, then killing a named character, would have worked as a better cliffhanger. It could have hung on that death for a moment, shown another named character's reaction, then cut to credits. I have high expectations for episode 5. If they don't deliver, I'm going hard on the next video. I cannot express enough how frustrating this episode was. They were supposed to show... They originally wrote the fight between Kelnaka and the Master and showing his death. They cut that out because the point of view would have been awkward in this episode. I get that. I think I really wish they would have showed it, but I get it. I think, honestly, the way they cut this episode was just like, it's so frustrating. The writer of this episode, I forgot her name, said that episode 5 is going to have a big reveal on a big moment, and I don't think that the identity of the masked villain, Darth, we'll call him Darth Smiley for now. I don't think that's him. I think Anastasia is going to show up. There was a shot in one of the teasers, I think, that shows a hand grabbing a flying lightsaber, and then there's like a cloak that reaches across the forearm. If we look at the Master's cloak, it's Chimere. I'm like, without a doubt, it's Chimere. If we look at Chimere's cloak, it doesn't reach the end of the forearm. It reaches like to the elbow. That's difference number 1. Difference number 2. When you look at the hands holding the hilt under the light with the masked villain Chimere, you can tell the skin tone's lighter. The one that catches the flying lightsaber, you can tell is a person of color, and I think that's Anastasia. So I think that's going to be the big reveal. I'm very interested in seeing how they handle that. Unfortunately, I think they said that them showing the events of what happened on Brendok is in episode 7. I really hope they pull this off, because I don't want to wait. I hate having to wait until the end of the season to see what happened, but whatever. I really think they could have cut this episode better. I really think they could have done much better with the character writing, the interactions between Osha and Jackie. I think they could have had something more interesting where they let things happen to Osha, and then Osha begins to like doubt herself, doubt her past, or I don't know. And then that's where the interaction between, and then Jackie notices that because she notices things. And then that's where the connection between Osha and Jackie happens. And then that's where that relationship starts to form. So I think I think that would have been, it's just more interesting. It's more interesting than simply going like, oh, my past. You're not defined by your past. My sister. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not as interesting to watch it, to be told about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, show don't tell. I don't want to dog on the show. I don't want to overhype it. I went into the show very optimistic and getting a little disappointed. But like, honestly, I just really want to see Star Wars succeed. I want to root for Star Wars. I want to, cheer Star Wars on. I want to see Star Wars be its best. And even when George was in charge, Star Wars was not always at its best. But I loved it anyway. And right now, I can't really say the same for some of these projects. Each project has had something that I have liked. I'll say that. But overall, it's been a lot of ups and downs, honestly. But Skeleton Crew comes out later this year. Andor comes out, I think, late this year or next year. I'm fully confident in Andor Season 2. I think Andor Season 2 is going to be fantastic. Can't wait for that. Skeleton Crew is Star Wars The Goonies. I love The Goonies. I'm really looking forward to that. I hope I'm not disappointed. But I think that one is going to turn out to be a little bit better, honestly. Just because it's a little bit different, it's a little bit more interesting. So I think that one's going to have, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be more like Mandalorian Season 1, set apart from everything else. It's going to have its own story, its own characters. It's not going to tie into like any of this other like Empire or Republic or anything like that. So I think that's really going to help that series. The Acolyte, I don't have a lot of the same issues that a lot of other people have when it comes to different aspects of the show. But I just want a good story and well-written characters and some great visual and audio effects. And the Acolyte isn't delivering on all of that. So, at least for right now, the choreography looks good. I am looking forward to the lightsaber fights, I'll say that. Dual-wielding Jackie fighting this Sith Master or whatever he is looks very promising. I think that's really cool. And hopefully she's a little bit more acrobatic than Ahsoka is in live action. I'm not dogging on Rosario Dawson at all, or I forgot her name. Ariana I forgot her name. The girl that plays young Ahsoka, I'm not dogging on her either. I think they play their parts well. Just the choreography isn't as easy in live action with all, with the head thing. But what did you think about the episode 4? What are your thoughts on the Acolyte? And please, it's been tough in the Star Wars fandom the last couple of weeks. Just please share your thoughts respectfully. Please explain them too. I would love to hear your reasons why and not just writing bad or woke. Please, I don't care if you write me an essay. I will read it. I would love to hear from you. I would love to discuss it with you. But please be genuine and have good faith arguments. It's been tough. I love talking about Star Wars. But some people have just been very frustrating to talk to because they're very set on it's bad because Ki-Adi-Mundi's age change. It's bad because lesbian space witches. It's bad because of this and this. And I'm like, oh. There's other things that I think are things that really, really matter that are bad with the show. So, if you want me to go into depth about Disney Star Wars and my thoughts on other projects, let me know in the comments as well. I'll see you guys in the video for episode 5. May the Force be with you.